How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. So let's just jump in because Van has this very rare but real
Yeah.
diagnosis. So what was that like
Yep.
for you as an actor to find this out for your character?
Yeah, it was, I mean, I think it's a gold mine as far as the acting stuff goes. I mean, it's a great opportunity and really exciting opportunity, but it was also very challenging and difficult. I think in a lot of ways it's hard to be vulnerable. It's hard to, tap into a lot of emotions and things. But yeah, but it was a really exciting, challenging experience.
Did you do
Yeah.
any of your own research into it to find out what it actually was?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that is pretty rare. So there wasn't a whole lot of stuff out there, but there were some things, and in particular, there's this one doctor who has it, and so it's like kind of like, oh, cool, this is the doctor who has it. So I'll, try to base a lot off of this. So there was a lot of just listening to him and reading up about him and just trying to gain his experience and then using my imagination to you know, to try to be very empathetic and 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 be present and just really in the moment and kind of let the other people that we were working with let their really authentic portrayals of their characters also help, so it was pretty interesting experience. Definitely one of the more challenging things that I've done in my career. And also very therapeutic in a way. So yeah.
So Van has always known there's something about him. He just didn't quite have the diagnosis until Dr. Wolf gave him it. Which do you think
Yeah.
that was like for Van in that moment to realize actually there is something medically there?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. It's like I think it can be applied to a lot of things for a lot of people, and myself in particular. I mean, it's like, we grow up and, I'm experiencing my life through my lens and my perspective, and everything that I am feeling, based on what I've experienced or my environment or what I know is all I know. So it's kind of like it's not until you sometimes get this other person's experience or you share a conversation with somebody or an experience with somebody that challenges what I think is the truth or what I think is life or what is like just normal. I remember for me when I moved to LA like back in 2013, I was like, I didn't have any money. I was working my butt off. And so I went to get groceries and I just bought kind of like spaghetti, tuna fish, and like almonds. It was like super weird and basic and cheap and stuff like that. But I didn't buy like milk and cheese and ice cream and all these things. And, I went like a week or two on that. And then I got my paycheck in. And then I went to the grocery store, bought all the normal stuff that I had always had my whole life. I always had milk and cereal. I always had, eggs and butter and all these things. And I felt this kind of like, this bloatedness in my gut. And I was kind of like, oh, and I was like, but I had felt it my whole life. So I just kind of thought it was normal. And I was in LA. So I started, I was just like talking in conversation. Somebody's like, oh, you're probably lactose intolerant. And I was like, what the hell is lactose intolerant? I didn't, and then so it's things like that, when we have this thing our whole life and we just kind of know it as just that's how it is. And then, somebody with maybe a little insight on something gives you a little something and it's like, oh wow, like that's interesting. I didn't even know that existed or I didn't even know that that was possible. But yeah, it's a thing. So I know very different, but but
It's still relatable. It is. You're practicing the
yeah,
empathy there.
yeah. So
So at the end of episode 5, the cat is out of the bag. Like everyone else now knows about it thanks to Dana. What's that going to be like now for Van as he goes into the rest of this with not having to sort of hide it?
yeah, I think it's one of those things that I think it brings everybody a little closer because everybody kind of is on the same page, so to speak. And it's also kind of like an elephant in the room kind of thing because it's like everybody kind of like is like, Van's weird, there's something going on type of thing. And now it's like, oh, now we know. And now we can have this, we can either turn him into an outcast or like, like a leper and we can treat him weird and differently, or we can embrace him and kind of learn more about it and really just yeah, I just think it brought everybody closer, and I think that's what's going to happen throughout the rest of the show is everybody's going to be, that much more connected, because there's this kind of there's a lot of just like care for each other because they're a team, you know, and so it's kind of like when you can really be vulnerable with somebody and share something really deep inside with somebody, it really creates this level of trust and just yeah, just really opens it up for a deeper relationship.
Can you
So,
tease anything about what is to come? Because right now he thinks it's a curse, and everyone else is like, "Oh no, this is amazing! Like this is a superpower." Can you
yeah.
can you tease if he's like what's to come for him with this? Like as he tries to change his mindset.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, without like, spoiling too much or giving away too much, I think yeah, it kind of it becomes this tool. It becomes this this ability that gives him an advantage in a lot of ways for his career and just for his personal relationships. And I think there's a lot of good. It gets used for good, and he's able to heal some things in his own personal life with family and with people that he's maybe had some hard times with or had differences with. And then as far as the patients and the hospital goes, Dr. Wolf is able to kind of use him as this little like special I don't know, like this little like a six man who comes in off the bench and is kind of like this like little X factor.
I also get the feeling that it's sort of like a superpower that he needs to learn how to control, because I found it really interesting that when it came to the John Doe locked in patient, he didn't feel much.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, can you speak to that at all?
Yeah, a little bit. That all gets revealed a little bit later. But there's also a reason why why Van's not really feeling some stuff in there. And that yeah, that does get revealed. And yeah, and hopefully again, not in a not it doesn't hopefully it doesn't get revealed in like a cheesy way. Hopefully it's a grounded way. But I think it's really interesting, and it's that storyline, the John Doe storyline, is really, really powerful, and really there's a lot going on there. And so I'm really excited for people to see like who this person is and how they got there and what's going on and all that. Yeah. But
Yeah.
there is a reason why Van's not like, oh, check his kidneys, or oh, check his, check this, or there's something going on. There's yeah, you'll see. But yeah.
Well, thank you so much. That's all I've got time for. But I absolutely love
Oh,
I love
okay.
the series, and I love Van.
Oh, oh, I'm glad. Thank you so much, Alexandria. Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Yeah.